Thank you. I had a rough night and rough day. Thanks for your support. Right side. What happened there? Oops. Well, it doesn't run very well on my computer, and I have a pretty decent computer. I can't get this to run at 120. Alright, time for Nobuyuki Hiyama. Time for some screaming. Just what the doctor ordered. Nobuyuki Hiyama screaming. I actually want to hear him talk. See if he does his screaming voice in the cutscene. That's totally him, alright. Yeah! What a Chad Nobuyuki Yama is. It's like his whole career is based on screaming. I should get him. Not cooperating. Stay in the fucking combo. He cheats a lot. Goes into hyper armor all the time. Don't tell me I have to go all the way around. I'm pretty sure I kicked down that ladder. I don't remember how to get back there. I don't want to go all the way around. Real annoying how sometimes they just don't put a shrine next to the fucking boss. They put it, like, way down here, and if you don't kick the ladder down, you have to go all the way around. Instead of doing the sensible thing and just putting the damn checkpoint, like, right there. I think that's what happened, yeah. Because that would make too much sense. Now I have to go all the way around. Just to pad out these long-ass levels even more. Unless it's up here. I don't remember. Stupid either way. Shouldn't have to do that. Why don't they just put a shrine up there like before? I hate the level design in this game. I just want to fight, not run around. I get so annoyed, I just want to get back to where I was. I can't find it. Wish this asshole could just jump. Like a good video game protagonist. Jump and climb and swim. Have, like, basic necessities. And since he can't do that, you've got to do stuff like this all the time, which is just annoying. Ladder will be like 1 foot above him, and he won't just jump up and do it. You got to go all the way around. All right, I got it this time. I really hope if they do make Nioh 3 that they get rid of all the stupid stuff. Let your guy actually, like, run and jump. Hate that stupid parry, man. It's so annoying. Hate the human bosses in this game. None of them are fun to fight. Can't use, like, half your moveset because they just arbitrarily block everything. Just really boring design. Don't let you use your moveset. They have like better priority than you on everything. Can't believe they don't have parry disabled in this game. That was the best thing. That made these fights actually tolerable, but they want you to suffer, so they take it out. Just cooperate, please. Fucking nerves. Irritating how he can just randomly counter whenever he wants. They've added all this broken stuff and they won't just put parry disabled back in. I don't understand why. It actually made the human bosses not such torture to fight. Because you could actually do something to them instead of them just walking through everything you do whenever they want. Like, no consistency. Why is this shortcut not there anymore? I'm getting pissed off. I hate these long levels. Should not be playing this. I'm already not feeling well mentally. This game really pisses me off sometimes. So hard to tell where to go in this game because everything looks the same. They need to put magic back in so that the AI can't block anymore. Makes the human bosses so boring to fight. They spend like 90% of the match just blocking. And you try to hit them and they just armor through it. Especially this boss, Nobuyuki Hiyama, he's fucking always doing that. Just random hyper armor. Yes, that was in the first game. Made these bosses so much less frustrating. I don't know why they took it out. No one likes these bosses. It's not fun. Hyper armor is not fun in anything. Come on. I want my gear back. Need to let me save transfer. I wish this did just have cross save. Not have to do all this again. Yeah, of course, you're out of key and you can still attack. That's fair. Super fair. Like how the rules don't apply to them. They can attack when they're out of stamina and you can't. Come on, stop doing that. Oh, I hate the fucking parry. What's the point of a boss if all it does is block? Yeah, they could not parry at all. You could actually use your whole damn moveset instead of like the same 3 moves over and over. Because they just decide that they want to just walk through everything. Out of key, you can still attack. There. Die, please! Stop doing that attack, please. Fucking annoying, man. They need to bring back parry disabled. Why would you take out, like, the thing that made these bosses tolerable? Let's just randomly take that out. We had, like, all this other cool stuff, but take out the one thing. Makes these bosses not want to make you bang your head against the wall. The endless parrying and random hyper armor. Like, how many times did he attack while he had no key? He did it at least like 3 times. Just completely ignored the rules of the game. I don't remember where to go. I want to get back to the picture scrolls where there's no level design. That was like the most fun thing about this game to me. No levels, no walking, just straight fighting and nothing else. I think I could just skip through this. I don't remember where to go. I hope there is a mod, yes. There needs to be. Get up, bozo! Just fucking stand there. Ugh. Really annoys me when they don't just put the checkpoint next to the boss and you have to do pointless running. It's like, why? Just put it right next to the damn boss so I can just get back right away. Would have made more sense to have the shrine right here. I should not be playing this tonight. I'm really irritated. I just want to get back to the fun part, but I get to the part where your character's so weak. I'm not playing very well either. It's not all the game's fault. course, just go straight into that. Just change straight into it with no cooldown. So damn annoying. This boss does everything in his power. You can't attack him. I'm really fucking irritated right now. Like, why don't they just have cross saves? I could just get my character back. Every game should have that when it comes out on another platform. It's like, I'm glad this is on PC, but right now there's no mods. It's just the same game. It should be required to have cross-save. Stupid how many games don't have it. Probably wouldn't be able to use it right now anyway, because it's a preview key, but still. You can put like hundreds of hours into a game. You put it on something else. You should always have that. I would not do this again otherwise. I just want to get my character back. Spin move. Would you move, please? Thank you. Attacking! I miss my character. He just plow through this so fast. Now the game is frustrating again. This freaking fat ass blocks the damn camera. I need to play something else. I'm already in a really shitty mood. It's taking too long to get my character back. I don't want to do all this again. This freaking fat ass, you can't see anything. It's too damn big. Look at that, every time you're next to him, you can't see anything. also playing really bad too. Yeah, that was good fight. When the game goes in full release, I should be able to get my gear back at least. Someone will probably make a cheat engine table that lets you make the gear. Just starting from scratch it's frustrating. Mostly just the fact that I had such an optimized build and now I have to do all that again. Because they can't be bothered to give you cross-save. It should be the standard at this point. A lot of people would agree with me on that, though. Like, buying games like this again would be more appealing if you could actually transfer your progress over. But not that many games are doing that still. Still a pretty small amount of games that let you do that. Yeah, tracking in this game is nuts. Feels like the player has, like, way less tracking. They have, like, way more tracking than you, and they also have, like, random hyper armor. The humanoid enemies, anyway. Like, they can just decide that you don't, your attacks don't matter. Definitely something you notice a lot about this game. It's not like anything in this game is not possible. It's just, if you're not a masochist, some things are really gonna piss you off. It's still a very fun game. I definitely do think this is like the best action RPG because it's skill-based. It's not just holding a button down and watching things die. You actually have to pay attention. I think this game is like unparalleled in terms of having crazy loot but actually having skill-based gameplay. It's just, there's lots of stupid stuff about this game, and you kind of just have to grin and bear it. And when you get frustrated, you just kind of have to stop. This game got a lot more bearable for me when I stopped forcing myself to keep playing. Nowadays, when this game irritates me, I just stop playing it. You're gonna play worse. You have to realize you're gonna play a lot worse when you're agitated. When you have a clear head and mind, you can play this game a lot better. But when you don't, this game will kick you while it's down. There's actually a whole Google document about all the stupid stuff in this game that they sent to the developers themselves. That says a lot right there. I agreed with everything that was in there too. That was a very insightful feedback. A game like this is, I mean, to be fair, as frustrating as it is, it's impossible to balance. I feel like if they just got rid of some of the stupid stuff that the enemies do, it would be better. But just as a whole, by this, the way this game is designed, you can't really balance it like other stuff. There's too many options and too many variables in this game. The best they can do is fix a lot of the unfair stuff that the enemies do, like the tracking on their movements, like hitting you while they're clearly out of key. It's one thing when yokai bosses do that, because that's the whole gimmick of yokai bosses, is that they can do that. But the humans actively cheat. They do that like all the time. They'll be out of key and still attack you, which is not fair by any definition, because you can't do that. The human bosses, enemies are supposed to apply to the same rules that you have, but they don't. As much as I rag on this game, I do still really enjoy playing it. It's definitely my favorite action RPG ever. It's just, I've been gaming for so long that I know the exact things that really piss me off. And I'm very vocal about it, but it's not just me. One of the complaints right now is that in the new deaths that they added, like, if you get a human boss, it's so hard to beat them because their stats are so inflated, and unlike a yokai boss, you can't hit them whenever you want. They're like one-shotting people. So they're one-shotting people, and because of how they're unfairly designed, you can't really hit them. So it creates this frustrating battle of attrition where you can't, like, really interact with them because they'll one-shot you. And if you think you have an opening, then they randomly decide that rules don't apply to them. I think those are the kinds of things they need to work on. I've been getting a lot of complaints about the new deaths, though. I actually haven't touched it myself. I figured it was kind of pointless because I knew I was going to get a key for this. Kind of putting my time into getting my character back on this, so that if they put out some mods or something, I can check them out right away. Of course. No, brilliant. Instant sloth talisman, so I can't attack. Fucking human enemies in this game are so unfun. Would you do the grab, please? Or just stand there, alright. It's irritating when you push the button and your guy doesn't do what you say. Sometimes he just, like, stares off into space. It's a good example there. It's like mashing the triangle button and he wouldn't fucking grab. Oh, the damn sloth. Come on, man. How much magic do you have? No, you don't. Get up, idiot. Sometimes he's just like, no, I don't want to respond to your button presses. Come on, man! It's like unlimited magic. Fucking annoying. They put it on them and it lasts like 2 seconds. They put it on you and it lasts like 10 minutes. That's fair. Irritating how they keep doing it. It like never runs out. Fucking boss is so stupid. Random armor. Why there's so few games that can actually balance enemies having armor. This is not one of them. Well, it does what it wants to. Then you get stuff like human enemies can be out of keying, they can still attack you. Like, it's hard enough to break their key as it is, because all they do is block. Sometimes I forget that they can even attack. I'm gonna give this one more try. That boss is really irritating me. Keep your stupid magic. Would you do the grab, please? Thank you. Like you get precious invincibility from it, but sometimes your character just like doesn't do it. You don't get invincibility off final blows though. Come on, will you stop doing that, please? Do something else. Fucking time I get near him, he just decides to do that. Goddamn annoying. Why does this guy have, like, infinite magic? Fucking pissing me off. I don't want to do this shit right now. Getting on my fucking nerves. I'm already in a bad mood. It's my GPU 2060. That's just an online mission anyway. It's just designed to be annoying. Guy that just walks through everything you do. Infinite magic. Infinite everything. We go with the blocking. All they do is block. Hate the blocking so much. Thank you for cooperating, dipshit. Not looking forward to the dojo bosses. They're the epitome of infinite blocking, infinite key, and then input reading. I think the dojo boss is the worst part of this game, because it's like everything wrong with it. Best is Hanzo, his like unlimited key. He can just attack forever, basically. He is very open about his cheating. I don't think anybody. I think people hate him the most. Him and Tadakatsu. Problem with Tadakatsu is the random hyper armor that he has. And then the hitboxes on his spear are like, they cover like his entire body. I thought it was just me getting frustrated when I felt like I'd be behind him completely behind his character model. So, nowhere near the front of his body where his spear is pointing, and I would still get hit. I thought it was just me. You know, I get frustrated easily. I thought I was just making stuff up, but then I've seen other people point out that he does that too, and it's like, alright, that validates my frustration. And Tadakatsu probably is the worst one, actually. Him and Toshimitsu, the random hyper armor, and Tadakatsu just has like the most bullshit hitboxes ever. Meanwhile, a lot of your stuff has really bad tracking, but the AI has like perfect tracking on everything. Also, what's up, Cyan? How have you been? You're asking about this port. No one can really get it running at 120. Even people with like 3090s and stuff, like the top 1% content creators, which I am definitely not. It seems like it's an engine problem because it's the I noticed it because it's the exact same thing that happened on the console version. Yeah, the console version of this, the particle effects tank the frame rate, and it does the same thing on here. So I'm actually unsure if it will actually get fixed because it's a problem with the engine. It's not the optimization of the port. I think the port is actually relatively good, but whoever coded this proprietary engine that they're using doesn't know how to handle particle effects, because when you're in a party, it's probably going to be just as bad as the PS4 Slim or base version in parties, which is a shame. It's not going to run any more stable because it's mostly the particle effects that are being created that just kills the frame rate. I was hoping that maybe that was just a PS4 problem, but now that it's out on PC and it's doing the exact same thing, that tells me that it's the engine. Which makes it a lot harder for it to get fixed, because they actually have to fix the underlying code that composes the game, instead of just fixing something on the PC end. I don't think it's entirely just the standard Koei Tecmo port optimization. It's actually a problem that arose when they created the engine. If this was on like a more public engine, like the Unreal Engine or Unity or something, it probably would not have that problem. They're gonna get a lot of shit for it when it happens, I'll tell you that much. And the sad part is there's like very little that can be done unless they're willing to like completely recode the engine so that it doesn't do that. Yeah, the PS5 is basically a backwards compatibility machine right now. I think the only reason it has so much popularity is because we're still stuck in this damn pandemic and people are stuck at home and gaming a lot more than they would. I really think that's the only reason. I mean, just by pure nature, I need one because I'm a content creator and I have to have a lot of the best stuff all the time. But you know, I have to have recent stuff as fast as possible. But I'm really unsure when those things are going to be readily available. Yeah, and luckily the PS4 has a lot of great games that run like garbage, so that's it's a benefit. Give it that much. But is it worthy of like bots buying that shit out instantly? You know, I don't think so. A little bit suspect how excited people are for it, and there's no games for it. There is DMC5 Special Edition, but the ironic thing about that is the PC version is still better because of all the mods. For like a month, that was the best place to play DMC5. But now pretty much everything has been added back, except some of the stuff like the Devil Breaker Switcher and LDK mode and stuff. But there's a rumor that we might get LDK mode officially on PC, which is the way it should have fucking been in the first place. I don't get why why PC is not able to have it. Weird to me. Especially since LDK was, like, originally a PC exclusive thing. Very first version of LDK was DMC4. And they specifically said that they put that mode in because the consoles couldn't handle it. Now, fast forward like 13 years and only the console has it. It's unfair, really, if you ask me. But there's two, like, hidden Steam depots on the Steam database that imply that they might actually be giving us that at some point. It's like they're clearly taking inspiration from the mods, but they don't want to put it on PC. There's all the people that say that it's because you guys mod the game, and it's like, they don't care about the mods, as long as you're not selling them. I find it odd that people push that agenda, that Capcom doesn't like the mods. It's like, well, for legality's sake, they can't, like, go ahead and actively promote it. But they actually have in the past. One of the things that they said about Dragon's Dogma when that came out on PC was that they wanted it to be modding friendly. I strictly remember them doing that as well. I don't know, it's just a shitty time to be a gamer, if you ask me. Really shitty time, because it's just like none of the stuff is available right now. Money's like the least of the problem. It's the biggest issue right now, is you just can't find this stuff anywhere. Graphics cards are sold out like instantly. I had money to get either a PS5 or a graphics card this month, but I gave up and got a new phone instead because my phone was dying, and unlike the PS5 and new graphics cards, GPUs, I just walked into the store and bought it. So I was like, okay, it's not entirely helpful for what I'm doing, but at least it's some semblance of an upgrade that I can actually get right now. I can't say the same for graphics cards right now. You had to pay double, holy shit. I don't have the disposable income to pay a scalper. Game is releasing unfinished, yeah. Cyberpunk is a perfect example of everything wrong with the AAA game industry. Willingly shipping things that don't fucking work and putting the pressure on the average person who's just buying it. And then having to make these bullshit apologies about how they'll fix the game as soon as possible. It's like, well then, why didn't you make it work in the first place? I understand that it's hard to make a video game. I'm not trying to downplay how hard it is to make a good game. It's very easy to make a bad game. Very hard to make a good game, but the shareholders and the investors should understand, like, this is what happens when you don't give people time. People actually making the game time to make things actually work. You're so anxious to get stuff out for the fiscal year or whatever. You get situations like Cyberpunk. The game is so bad that they had to, even Sony had to give refunds. Like, I think people downplay how serious of an issue that is of Sony. They have like the most draconian refund policy out of all the big gaming companies. When Sony of all people is actively letting you get a refund for Cyberpunk with no questions asked, there's obviously a serious issue there. Sony gives you like one refund a year if you're lucky, and it's on a case-to-case basis. They almost never just give you a refund and no questions asked. It has to be like a completely, barely functional game, which is what Cyberpunk is. Cyberpunk also has the problem of being announced like 8 years too early. And then they actually revealed in like an article that the demo that they had, but the gameplay was completely doctored. Like it was like barely playable at all. It was the classic like bull shots that they do. Okay, so the one thing people had to go off to buy this game and get excited for it was basically fabricated completely. I don't even think it was in-engine. If it was in-engine, it wasn't like designed to be played. Basically fully scripted. Which is just a joke if you ask me. Show me what I'm actually going to be buying. If you're not showing me that, then I'm not interested. I definitely appreciate when people just put out a trailer with its like at least 80% gameplay. It's like, thanks for showing me what I'm actually buying, not some overproduced CG trailer, something that doesn't even represent the actual quality of the game. I know, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some stuff coming this year, but we all know transitional period of the gaming industry is always really difficult. Yeah, I would think it would be easier for them this time because they have better tech, but you know, the standards for what we accept as good graphics and stuff definitely make a difference. I think that's the only reason Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires exists. I stand by that being the only reason they're doing that game, because from a business standpoint, it makes no sense to make Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. Empires games do tend, to be fair, they do tend to fix a lot of underlying issues with the vanilla game, but there's so many problems with Dynasty Warriors 9 as it is. I don't really think there's much that can be done, and it's not something the average person wants either. But it's cheap and easy to make. There's no sign of it's even going to have any like gameplay improvements either. It might just be the same damn thing with a bunch of menus tacked on, because that's generally what Empires is. Same thing you've already been playing for 2 years, but you have menus. Some people get really into that shit, but it doesn't really sell me. Not my thing at all. That's so stupid, man. not invincible during that animation. I'm not even sure I would ask for a key for Empires. I'm pretty sure I don't care. Maybe if they bring back the Tonfas or something, I'll come back. That's a big if, though. So far, they haven't even implied that they're going to bring stuff back, declone people. Movesets are already so homogenized in that game anyway. I'm not sure decloning people would really do that much to make the game more fun. They really only started getting creative with the movesets and adding gimmicks back that they had in 7 and 8 with the DLC. DLC weapons were like way better designed and more interesting than the ones in the base game. I'm not even saying that the gimmicks in 8 were even that good. There were a lot of really stupid ones. But the fact that it at least made the weapons unique was enough to carry it for most people. 9 did not have that until basically the end of support. Job, Hanzo. Only you could fight when you're an enemy. You're an enemy, you input read like crazy. Yeah, New Genesis looks pretty good, but I'm a little apprehensive towards the open world. I should have tried to get to the beta, but I'm a gaijin, so they wouldn't have taken me anyway. Yeah, there was there is or there was going to be a closed beta very soon, but it's only for Japanese residents. DNF duel? Yeah, I'm excited for that. That was a big DNF and DFO junkie back in my younger years. The DFO PvP has been a joke for a long time. The netcode is terrible, and like they've like doubled the moveset of the characters since the game came out, and they arbitrarily don't let you use any of that stuff in the PvP. The PvP's been the same thing for years. I get that they do it for balance, but you have to realize the game has been out for like 15 years. So just having the moveset in PvP stop at level 45 is like kind of dumb at this point. The level cap is 100 now, and they have like third awakenings and stuff. So I'm interested to see what they do with, you know, an actual fighting game. The DFO PvP was like the original suffering trying to play a fighting game with somebody who's not right next to you. That netcode was straight booty like 15 years ago, and it hasn't gotten any better. DFO characters have really cool movesets. It's just never really got to use them in a fighting game setting before. Almost every sprite in DFO right now is a decade old, or they're very old sprites, and the problem with DFO is they're actual sprites, they're real sprites, but they have the avatar system. The avatar system prevents them from adding new frames of animation because they have to redraw. Adding one frame of animation on a DFO character is like way more effort than anything else. Because there's like thousands of avatars at this point, and at the very least there's like hundreds per character. Like they can't feasibly add new frames of animation. So some of the sprites look really bad. The ones that are more recent, like the female Slayer and the Lancer and stuff, like they're fine. But a lot of the old ones, the mage, the lolly is like the worst one. She has like 10 frames of animation. I don't even think the people that are hardcore into lollies like that character that much. She's very unappealing to play because she has like literally no frames of animation. But that sprite came out with the game, so that sprite is like as old as World of Warcraft by now. They didn't really have a lot of foresight when they designed the avatar system. Cosmetics like that are a lot easier to do in a 3D game. In anything sprite-based that's actually using sprite animation, it's very hard to do. 3D DFO has been vaporware for years. It's like the Duke Nukem Forever of action MMOs. That shit was announced like, what, like 3 years ago? Still not out. They did show some gameplay like last month though. At least there was some sign of life. There was a lot of nothing for that game for a while though. I was worried it got cancelled. What is with the lighting here? It's like all messed up. Can't see.
わしは残って敵の足並みを乱す。お主はこのまま攻め入れ。休む暇はない。行こうぞ。
Yeah, but it's Korean developed, so it's going to come with all the problems that come from being developed in Korea. They're really the only ones that try to do action MMOs and not just boring tap target stuff, but reality is it's going to come with all of the problems that come from being an MMO. The only one that's really tried to contest them would be Sega with PSO2. It might be fun for the first couple years. It'll probably fall off. They start adding stupid stuff. EFO used to be a really great beat 'em up, and then it stopped being a beat 'em up, and I kind of subsequently lost interest. It started being like every other MMO. It's just about spamming your most powerful move. Forever, whatever, and everything just started having hyper armor. It stopped being fun to me. And with those games, there's a really massive discrepancy between people who actually want to play the game and then just want to one-shot everything. I don't envy the people that have to try to balance that shit.
からなんで俺のために使わんなんでだ
I would not call it silky smooth. And you turn the particle effects up, the frame rate tanks. Which is a problem with the engine, not the port. Especially since they're advertising 120. They're advertising 120. I can't get this to run at 120. Meanwhile, I can get DMC5 to run at like a locked 120 at 1080p with max settings very easily on this exact same hardware. And this game, with like a fraction of the stuff going on, maybe a maximum of like 5 character models on screen at once, it doesn't run. They've got a lot of work to do to get it to where they're advertising, that's for sure. Mods are going to be awesome for this game. That's really the main reason why I asked for a key, because I know that I'll probably be one of the only people really talking about mods and stuff. Because I've already played this game to death. I'm using Cheat Engine to get my character back, basically, but mods are going to be really cool for this game. They'll make a lot of things a lot better. I'm interested to see what the future holds. This port is not in the state that it should be. Not with what they're advertising, anyway. I've seen videos of people with 3090s, and the frame rate's still dropping in the exact same place. Mods I would want is tempering star effects. Being able to temper star effects, for one thing. Parry disabled coming back. Those would be the main things that I would want. That won't be hard to do. Parrying disabled, apparently the code is still in the game. So all I'm really doing right now is I'm just kind of playing this while I have the early review key, so that when the mods come out, I actually have a character that can show them. So I'm just going through as fast as I can while still having some semblance of a challenge. I use Cheat Engine to give myself a lot of levels. Oh, this is a level with the big-ass golem. No fun. I'm just gonna try to run through this. This is one of the worst levels in the game. Yeah, I want to get an NVMe at some point, but my motherboard does not support it, so I'd have to completely redo my motherboard and stuff. Find a motherboard that supports the stuff I've already got. I just haven't wanted to do that right now. Really have the capability to at the moment. Oh, this level is ass. See if I remember where to go. This level's got all the annoying gimmicks. Oh!
この地響き
Thank you.
この霊石とつながってるの
I remember hating this level on my first playthrough, and the boss really sucks too. Like the best of the worst. Okay, the Biwa guy's gotta go.
こんなはずは
It's my Gus talisman. Kind of focused on trying to get a new card right now, honestly. That's what I'm after right now, but that's just like an impossible feat at the moment. I hate that grab. I have to run all the way fucking back because they can't give you a goddamn checkpoint. This level's got two of the most obnoxious bosses. Now I have to run all the way back. I wish in the patches they just removed this level from the game. It's definitely one of the worst levels. The payoff isn't even good because the boss at the end is just a stupid gimmick. It's not a good boss fight. Come the fuck on, man. I hate this level. And you can't tell where anything is because everything's dark red and brown. This level's so damn irritating. The boss at the end is like completely awful. Standard shitty action game gimmick boss. I hate this fucking level. There's too many fucking enemies and you can't tell where anything is. This is why I don't like playing the campaign in this game. I really like the Abyss and the picture scrolls because it's none of the shitty level design. It's just fighting things, which is the fun part of this game. You're not getting lost. Just open the fucking door. It's wood. Why can't you open a wooden door? How useless are you as a video game protagonist? You can't get past a wooden door. Come on now. Takes a special kind of video game protagonist to be completely defeated by a wooden door. That's right, there's a shortcut over here, I think. open the door, please? Hello? Or not. Just stand there. A 2-foot tall fence is too much for you. Great protagonist. I have to fight this Ninja Turtle guy. I hate that grab so much. Never been able to dodge that grab. Actually got it once. Get out of here. That's the tolerable boss, the awful one's coming up soon. Out of like the 300 hours I played this game, I only fought this boss once. The big golem. It's like a God of War boss reject. Like, completely out of place, not fun to fight. Very gimmicky. Best of the worst. Can't jump that far either. Yeah, you ragdoll down there. No one taught him how to jump or, like, climb a fence. It's like masterfully trained in all martial arts, but a 2-foot tall gap, or wide gap, or like a fence that's like up to his knees, he can't handle. It's too much for him. It's like whoever trained this guy is like a douchebag. Like the best martial arts training on the planet at the time, but no one taught him how to like just climb a fence. I think for like the dictionary definition of like a TV trope of like inconsistent strength would be the Nioh 2 protagonist by sure. There's like walking sim protagonists that are more capable than this guy is. It's like there's walking sims where you can be like acrobatic and jump and stuff. You can't fight because it's a walking sim. But those characters are still better than this guy. A walking sim character would be able to get over a 2-foot tall fence or like swim in a pool, but this guy can't. I feel like the enemies in this game should just trap this guy in a fence of wood. Just have like a wooden fence. He would not be able to get out. He'd be completely stuck there forever. Which would be like purgatory for this character because he's actually canonically immortal. Like, why even bother with all this stuff? Like, he can't get past this door. It's too hard for him. This level's so goddamn shitty. So fucking awful. It's just all the annoying gimmicks in the game in one. I haven't done this level in like 10 months. And I still remember how awful it is. It's all the stupid stuff like your guy can't jump or anything. It's just annoying. Constant projectile spam. Developer needs new level designers. Back to the picture scrolls. I'm so looking forward to that. Just straight fighting. No garbage level design. Gotta get through all this garbage first. Keep in mind I beat this game like 5 times. I only did this level once. I did it the one time and I just decided to never do it again. Okay, that's just a massive shortcut. The golem fuckers up there. Not looking forward to it. Dreadful boss. Come on! God! Who designed this level? Are they like a sociopath or something? This is by far the worst level in this game. No contest. Alright, good. Now the more frustration. Gotta fight a God of War reject now. I don't even remember how to fight this boss. It's been like almost a year since I fought it. See right away why this is a bad boss. I don't really think much more needs to be said. Your standard action game gimmick boss. Where most of the game mechanics don't work. I wish I had a one-shot build to just get past this. Like, it's not enough that this level is already really obnoxious. They've got to throw a gimmick boss in there, too. I know there was a way to, like, cheese this boss, but I don't remember how. Oh, this boss is such garbage. What the hell were they thinking? I understand why every action game has to have a boss like this. Just like baffling to me that they keep putting bosses like this in action games, and they know full well no one likes this stuff. Must be like some kind of unsung game development quota. I've got a lot of key damage though, that will help. What a shit boss. Must have, like, walked into a Western action game development office and just, like, stole this boss. Definitely out of place. Really weirdly designed. Now I never have to do that again, so good. Out of like 300 hours, I've only done that level twice, and you guys got to see exactly why. I feel like there must be some kind of like action game law where no matter how civilized your action game is, you need to have a gimmicky giant boss like that somewhere that nobody ever likes fighting. Has there been a patch? No.
重き定めを許してください。
So I'm actually almost done with the game. Very close to being done. I don't think it's going to get finished tonight. I don't remember how many more levels there are left. I'll be right back. No, there has not been a new patch. Game hasn't gotten updated. I really don't have much faith that they'll fix the frame rate problem because it's a problem with the engine itself. And I know this for a fact because it's doing the exact same thing it does on console. My computer is not super try-hard, big boy, big dick level, but it should be able to run this at 60 FPS locked, and it's dropping frames at the exact same time that it does on console. For whatever reason, the engine this is coded in, it just can't handle particle effects. It's really weird that they don't let you turn them off. That would be the easiest way that they could fix it, is if you've ever played this game on console in a 3-man party, it's a complete slideshow, and it's actually, impairs your ability to play, even if you're not sensitive to low frame rates or inconsistent frame rates like I am. It impairs your ability to play because it like, obstructs the screen. You can't see. I really doubt they're actually going to put in the work to actually fix whatever's in the engine that causes it to just drop frames consistently every time there's some semblance of particle effects. But the easiest thing they could do for this version would be to just let you reduce them. I'm going to talk to the community manager tonight after I'm done streaming and suggest that to him. Because people are understandably going to be complaining. I've seen it happen on PCs that are like, they have like 3080s and stuff. Like pretty much the best components on the market, and it's still happening there, so if that doesn't tell you that it's an engine problem, then nothing will, really. Yeah, it's the engine, that's what it is. I was just hoping that they would at least fix it for this, but guess not. Gotta suffer. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm gonna play a little bit more tonight. Probably, hit the hay. Should have this done tomorrow. I've got one more gimmick boss left too, that stupid castle. Not looking forward to it. The game is very backloaded with shitty gimmick bosses. At least in games like DMC 3 and stuff, it's like straight at the end, but in this game it's like you get to like the last 80% and they just really spam the gimmick bosses. I think they're aware that no one likes them because there's only a couple of scrolls in the game that actually have those bosses, and nobody does them just on the basis that they have those bosses in the first place. In the time that passed between the initial release and actually getting feedback and reviews and stuff, I think they realized that those bosses are just like irredeemable, and they just kind of stopped focusing on them completely. That's what's nice though, is once you get to the end game, you basically never have to fight those bosses again. So for my entire lifespan with this game, I'll never have to fight those bosses again past this playthrough. I don't think I've ever seen a picture scroll that has that real shit rock golem boss that I just fought. I have seen one with the castle, but no one bothers doing it because that boss is straight garbo. The frustration is not worth the reward. Nice! I forgot to mention his other uneven strength. You can't fall more than like 2 feet without dying. That's not as much of an issue, though, as the fact that he gets obstructed by, like, stupidest stuff. Useless bastard. I have to remember the path in this level, too. This is a really long level. This is the, Shuten Doji level. Alright, you can handle this, right? Remember, do I even have to kill this guy? It's up here. Alright, I'm starting to remember this now. This was another level that I only did, like... Actually, no, I did this level quite a bit, and I was trying to farm the Red Demon set of Shuten Doji, but that's not really something I need to do anymore. At the time, yes. Now it's kind of pointless to do that. Came back. Second jewel. the fucking gun people. Every time you're just trying to go fast, they have to fucking hit you from like 30 miles away. Just to get on your nerves. That'd be a great mod for this game too. No gun enemies. The only purpose they serve is to just make you angry and annoyed. Especially on the harder difficulties when they have like no cooldown on anything.
年は取っておらんだろうからの。年寄りに年寄り呼ばわりされるとはの。ここに封印されしはかつて日の本を恐怖に陥れたあやかしばかり。この国の平穏を喜ばぬ輩が目をつけたのかもしれませんね。
I forget which one you can go down from. No effort to climb back up at all. Nope, just I just give up. Sorry. Nope. Kind of bummed that they're not really committing to making another one of these, because I think level design is the thing I would like to see improved the most. Definitely the weakest part of this game. Actually, I think I can go all the way to the end of this point, can't I? No, I think there's one more. It's over here. Yeah, that's right. I actually remembered correctly. You can go this way. You only have to rotate this if you want to get back quickly. I don't remember how to do that. I think it's something over there, I think, that you can rotate it with. fight.
あやつらを連れ再び今日を練り歩かぬと来光もそうよ。
Alright, well, this is the other worst level in the game. The giant castle. I really don't want to do that right now. Full disclosure. This is actually the worst boss in the game. The golem is bad too, but the boss here is worse. But after this, it's pretty much just, what's his name? Tokichiro in yokai form, and then that wizard guy, Kashin Koji. Then it's just William and the final boss, so I don't think I feel like doing all that tonight anyway. I think I'm gonna go ahead and stop there, at least in terms of playing this game tonight. I'd rather just knock it all out in one session tomorrow. I really don't feel like fighting that boss. How did I get rid of the mouse cursor? I just moved it down. Ancient secret. One thing I also forgot to mention in my videos for this is that the menus actually run at 60 FPS or above, whatever your computer can handle, which is nice. People don't talk about this kind of thing a lot, but 30 FPS menus can be worse than 30 FPS gameplay. Because it can drop your inputs, and depending on the game, that can get you killed. A good example is like a turn-based game with really laggy menus can just completely ruin the course of the battle. It's really nice when, regardless of what the actual game is running at in like a turn-based RPG, that the menus are at least responsive and don't drop inputs. Because obviously it's a lot harder to recover in a turn-based game than something like this. It's kind of hard to tell, but you look at how I'm moving the menu and stuff, and the Epone in the back. He's moving at 60 FPS. The menus feel way better because of it. Definitely one of the unsung improvements of this port. It kind of seems like a nitpick, but a lot of people do complain about the menus in the blacksmith and stuff because they're like barely 30 FPS, so it can be easy to make mistakes. For a Japanese game, they actually did a pretty respectable job of porting this. It's just the engine is broken at its core, and that's what's causing a lot of the problems. engine's not really designed to have a lot of particle effects, which is weird because this game just bombards you with particle effects like all the time. And when it happens that often, it's weird that it doesn't really let you turn them off. But I'm gonna talk to the community manager tonight, since he was the one that sent this to me, and I'm gonna tell him to suggest that to the team if they're not even. I really doubt they're willing to completely change the engine, even though honestly that's what needs to be done. I really doubt they're gonna do that, so I think that would be the best solution for everybody, at least for now, is just let you turn it off. Who knows what'll happen though.
毎度あり。私もいつもありがとう。これ
Yeah, those menus are something else after like hundreds of hours on the PS4 version. I think the menus feel worse than the menus in that game feel worse than the frame rate problems. I never once enjoyed operating the menus in Nioh. I don't know what it is, but they can't seem to get the menus to run at 60 FPS. I'm glad they went the extra mile and did that for the PC version at least. Not only is it more responsive, it's actually a lot faster too. It's running at a consistent frame rate. You spend a lot less time in there, which is nice. You have to really kind of move the menu at the game's pace on console. Overall, I wouldn't call it a bad port. It's far too demanding for how it looks. It's not a really good looking game. It's not a game you play for the graphics in the first place. You play for the gameplay and the loot, and the fact that it's one of the most co-op friendly games that's not like Call of Duty or something. Those are the reasons why you play it. So, and the fact that it's so demanding and it looks the way it does is kind of what the problem is. Yeah, exactly. And they really do need to fix that. Ever since I put the effects quality on low, even though my computer can handle running it at max settings, it happens a lot less. But it's something they need to address at the engine level, and who knows if they're going to care to do that. You can watch, if you could watch like any of the other people that got an early key, because there's a lot of other people that got it too. A lot of them are much larger channels than mine, or they're around my size, but they specialize in benchmarks and stuff. And as far as I know, it's actually pretty easy to get keys if you're a benchmark channel, because you're basically indirectly selling the game to other people, even though the level of your play or your personality is like a non-issue. Nobody's watching those videos to hear you talk. But yeah, a lot of the benchmark videos and stuff have like way better computers than mine, and it drops in the exact same spot. So I really don't know how much can be done at this point. I'm kind of trying to be optimistic, but it really seems like not much is going to be done. which is a shame, but that's just the way it is. The fact that they managed to uncap the menus, though, is huge. Dynamic resolution, dynamic reflection. Yeah, I think I turned that off, actually. Let me check. Let me go back in really quick. Yeah, I have that on, but effect quality low makes the game, like, not look that much worse, but it reduces how much it drops frames, which, for a game like this, is really good. You know what, for science, I'm going to see what happens if I put it to 720. I put it to 720. This is what it ran like on base PS4 if we put it in action mode. Got a black screen now. Good sign. You can actually see the frame rate counter in the lower left-hand corner of my stream window. It is still not hitting 120. Curious if I actually can, if I can, like, mimic the base PS4 settings, get it to run at 120. It's still gonna drop in the same places though, so I don't know how much it matters. Also, what's locked to borderless too. You can only have frame rates above 60 FPS in borderless mode, which is something they desperately need to fix too. Let's see here. Let's do a science experiment here. It's like everything else can stay on, but shadows to medium. See how much of a difference that makes. Then I think I'm gonna hop off for tonight.
かのような場所に庭を設けるとはなんとも地球をあのような感性は
Definitely feels a lot nicer at 120. But it's kind of hard to play at the same time. Yeah, I'll try your suggestion. Try that. Let's go back to the title screen. You can't change all that stuff. You have to go back. Oh wow, now this is all screwed up. Wonder why this happens. Why does the lighting get all messed up? It's actually running pretty well right now, but it's all screwed up for some reason. I don't know why this happens. I had this happen when I first got this from the social media rep. Really irritating when it does that. Okay, why is it doing this? It's really damn irritating. Fix the port, please. It's like I've got it at 120, but now the lighting is all messed up. I don't know why. It just does that at random sometimes. Dude, what is wrong with this? Jeez. Why is it all messed up? Thank you. Please work. Okay. It's back. Why? Why does that happen? I'm cursed. Well, this is actually pretty good so far. It's actually staying at 120. It definitely does feel a lot better. Same thing with, like, some of the other hardcore action games I play on here, like, Assault Spy, stuff like that. See what that does. Does that tank the frame rate? Huh. dropped like 20 frames when the yokai realm dispersed. Oh, I'll probably just play like this for now. It definitely does feel a lot better at 120. I mean, which goes without saying. Pretty much any hardcore action game feels better. 60's like the bare minimum for a game like this, in my opinion, anyway. DMC5, for instance, feels like way better at 120. Assault Spy as well. Assault Spy feels really good above 100. I shouldn't have to turn the settings down. That's kind of the problem. It shouldn't be necessary to do that with how this game looks. But there's like something wrong with the engine. I'm sure they'll fix it, but I'm trying to work with what I have right now, which is a preview version of the game that's missing a lot of the features that are promised. Yeah, computer should have no problems running this at 120 though. That's kind of the thing. I think if I could run like DMC5 at 120 locked, that this should be no problem, but here we are. I don't remember where to go. That's why I hate the levels in this game. I just want to fight. I hate getting lost. So it's like a boss rush level, but it's really confusing to tell where to go. I hate the level design in this game. Trust me, I would leave if I could. I would skip this level.
まるで城が息づいておるようじゃ。
How is the enemy variety? The burst counter mechanic definitely helps a lot. Because on the harder difficulties, the burst counter attacks change, so even though it's like a minor change on paper, it like completely changes the dynamic. Oddly enough, a lot of the bosses don't come back. I think only like 3 bosses come back. Which is a little strange because they could have recycled a lot more. I think this game is better than Nioh 1 in almost every way. Main thing I don't like is that they took out parrying disabled. This makes the human bosses a real slog. The burst counter mechanic is like objectively better. I like how it has a risk reward to it. Very satisfying mechanic to pull off. Soul Core system is really cool too. It's another way to give you even more options to play this game differently from others. Although, much like Aria of Sorrow, which was like one of the first big games to have that kind of mechanic, where you can get like a usable combat ability from any monster in the game, there's some that are just like leaps and bounds better than others, but even then, people have found uses for the less popular ones. The thing about this game is, at least until you get to the picture scrolls that allow you to have an increased drop rate for specific races, you're really going to have a hard time getting your build off the ground. So, a lot of people are just copycatting. You know, like I made a guide for the build that I used on the PS4 version. I know some people are following that just because it's in this game, it's really good to have a baseline because it's not like it's not like an MMO or something where you can just craft your stuff or buy it off the auction house or something. You're completely at the mercy of RNG. At the same time, there are people that really have put in the effort to just make their own unique build and get through the game just fine. The balance of the build stuff is pretty good too. One of the problems with the new content they added, the extra levels to the underworld, is that a lot of the builds aren't viable anymore. But I know that's something they'll fix in due time. But that's like the end of the end game. There's not even like a material reward for doing that, so I don't know if you can really even hold that against the game's balance. Basically just took the freedom of playstyles from the first game and just kind of cranked it up a bit, which is all that really needed to be done in the first place. You don't have to copy someone else's build, but it does help because it gives you something to go off of. What's nice about this game too is it's pretty generous with storage space. So what I did on my PS4 playthrough was I kept literally everything unless it was completely useless. So that if I wanted to change a build or I got like a Grace or Rarity inheritance, I could just easily carry it over with no problem. Lots of small things this game does to make sure that you can play it the way you want. And I think that's one of its greatest strengths, despite all the flaws it's got, like level design and some of the unfair things the bosses do. I mean, it says a lot that people thought that every build was viable in this game until I think it was last week or like 2 weeks ago when they put out that patch that added more floors to the end game. Like pretty much any build you could think of was viable, but that end game that they added is so poorly balanced that that's not really the case anymore. But even then, you have to remember there's like no reward for doing that at all, at least not right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they add one later, but for now it's just like for people who want more challenge and don't want to move on from the game just yet. That's like the only reason to do that stuff, so it doesn't really bother me that much. But the problem with that new mode that they added, the extra floors, is that it's just the exact same problem that the first game had, where everything just one-shots you. And it stops being fun, and it stops being fair. But the fact that builds stayed viable until the literal end of the game's lifespan, in terms of brand new content, the season pass and stuff, is pretty impressive. There aren't many games with any kind of like build-based mechanics that that can say that. The only major power creep this game had was pretty much just between DLC cycles. Some people made the mistake of grinding really hard before the game was done, and all of that stuff has been power creeped. But that's not really the fault of the game, that's the fault of the people who, forgot that more was going to be added. Alright, time for the worst boss of the game coming up. Best of the worst.
待っておるぞ。
I'm not looking forward to this at all. This boss is horrible. The rumor is that a Ninja Gaiden trilogy is coming. So I guess all the modern Ninja Gaiden games, I don't know if it'll be the vanilla versions or the Sigma ones. But there's been a lot of places rumoring that that's going to happen, so that's probably what it will be. I have to go all the way back. This game's fucking level design. I don't want to fight this boss in the first place. I wish I had a one-hit kill mod. This boss is just fucking awful. The worst this game has to offer. Another stupid big gimmick boss where most of the mechanics cease to work. Real annoying. Especially since I have weapons with very realistic hitboxes, so that doesn't help things. That just makes it worse. Some of the weapons with more wide, large hitboxes, this boss is not as much of a problem, but it's still one that everybody goes out of their way to not fight. It's just a piece of shit fight. Stupid gimmicky garbage. Everyone's favorite. This is why I wasn't going to do this tonight, because I know this is going to piss me off. I've only fought this boss like twice. This boss is so stupid! Why do they put bosses like this in action games? Everything hits you off-screen. You can't see what you're doing. And it's just not fun, because it's just not just a dude with a sword. Stop trying to deviate from that. Add just more generic dudes with swords instead of shit monsters like this. I really don't understand why this is still an issue. After they've been making action games for so long, they still make boss fights like this. I mean, it just boggles my mind. It's like, why? You think he would get the memo at this point and realize no one likes stuff like this. Well, he's just a humanoid enemy with no gimmicks. None of this stupid stuff. It's the worst boss. I love getting hit by off-screen projectiles. It's always lots of fun, right? Ugh. Stupid garbage-ass boss. What were they thinking? It's like, is there some, like, unsung rule? Is there, like, some, like, law that you need to have obnoxious gimmick bosses in action games? You think we'd learn from stuff like the Savior in DMC4? That game is like 13 years old this year. We still haven't learned anything from that game. How awful that boss fight was, and how nobody ever willingly wanted to do it. But no, we have not learned anything. Still got shit bosses like this. Really boggles my mind, honestly, why this is still an issue. Stop making bosses like this. Why do you hate your hate your consumers? Stupid gimmick crap. Starting to get old at this point. Forgot just how awful this boss is, because nobody willingly fights it. Maybe it's like they get fined if they don't put bosses like this in games. That's my theory. It's like a parking ticket, but for game development. Like, the law dictates you have to have an obnoxious shit boss like this. My theory's probably correct. That's the only reason I can think of why we still get bosses like this in games. It's like the worst kept secret that nobody likes stuff like this. Oh my god, this boss is such garbage. It's fucking stupid. We were doing good with just having just dudes with swords. I would rather have that than shit like this. I don't know how to quickly kill this boss. It's just a complete gimmick. Can't just go up and hit it. You have to deal with all the stupid heads that just spam projectiles off-screen. And there's no, like, DMC camera trick to make it less annoying. It really will just hit you off-screen. There's nothing you can do about it. The Gust Talisman doesn't do anything either. I wish I had a code to just one-shot it. Yeah, I don't like to suffer. Like actual good designed boss fights. Shit like this. Not enough that they just spam non-stop. It also slows you down too, just to make it more obnoxious. Whoever designed this is a sociopath. It's like the last boss was a gimmick boss. 2 bosses ago was another shitty gimmick boss, and then they have to add another one. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. Kabi, this is objectively the worst boss in the game. Everybody hates this boss. To the point that when they added a mode where you could fight the bosses and get extra loot and stuff, nobody does any of the scrolls that have this boss. For this exact reason, is it's a pile of shit. Stupid gimmicks where the game mechanics cease to function. It's always terrible in every game. I should have stayed true to my word and just stopped playing, because I knew I was gonna get pissed. I knew this boss was coming. It's nice getting hit off-screen from things you can't see. Real great design. Couldn't just make this boss just a person with a sword. No. It's gotta be this stupid gimmicky crap. Serves no purpose other than just to piss you off and pad the game. So obviously put a lot of effort into it. It's like, why didn't anybody, like, point out that, like, hey, this boss design is garbage. It's not fun. Actively frustrating and annoying. and most of the game mechanics don't work on it, so... Same problem every other big, stupid, giant boss has. Ugh, go away, dude. Fuck off. Hate this fucking boss. I never wanted to fight this boss again. I was hoping they would just, like, remove it or something. I think this boss is worse than the Savior. Savior's a real shit boss, too. This boss is worse. Because at least in DMC games, you have the camera trick, which prevents stuff like this, where you're getting hit by things you can't see. This game does not have the camera trick, so... Killing one of these things should just kill it completely. Oh, I love getting hit in the middle of animations. Just even more of these fucking cookie monsters. Fucking Oscar the Grouch boss. Fuck this, man. I'm done tonight. Hate this fucking boss. It's like the worst design in this game by far. No, the containment room is way less offensive than this garbage. That's just designed to just anger you. I can't believe they haven't done anything to that boss in like the 10 months the game has been out. That is by far the worst boss in the game. Like, bar none. The Rock Golem is real shitty too, because it's kind of the same design where a lot of the mechanics don't work, and there's unfair stuff, like, unfair stuff like being hit off-screen, but the second boss just amplifies that by, like, 30. It's Nioh 2 is just like any other good melee action game. It's got mostly good bosses. The main offenders are the human bosses who actively cheat, and then there's the two shitty gimmick bosses. Everything else is fine. They're all fair. You know, if you actually pay attention to what you're doing and you die a couple times, you generally can figure things out. The only other boss I'd say is really bad is the snake at the beginning. The snake is like the third boss, the second or third boss in the game. Actually, I think it's the third or fourth boss in the game. And that boss is pretty overtuned for the point of the game that you're at, where you have no semblance of a build, you have no skill points, you have no magic, you have no ninjutsu. Everything else past that is relatively smooth sailing, but then you get to that Oscar the Grouch castle boss, and you just wonder why you're subjecting yourself to such torture. It's a little bit awkward how much they've balanced that game since it came out, and they still haven't fixed that boss. I did notice, to be fair, though, that the hitboxes on the Oscar the Grouch heads, it definitely does seem to they seem to be a little bit more realistic and fair. I remember before, like, that boss was like almost impossible with the Tonfas, because the Tonfas are too short-ranged. So if that boss is not bad enough already, if you're playing with the Tonfas, you could, like, barely hit them. Anyway, I'll tackle the rest of that tomorrow. After that, the game is pretty smooth sailing. There's just, I think it's just William and then Takemaru, and that's the end. So when I come back on, tomorrow, I'll probably get through that. Still got like over a week before the game comes out officially, so no need to pace myself. I just want to get to a point where I can look at the mods, get my character to the point where I could use mods again. That's really all I'm trying to do right now. Anyway, thanks to K76BK for the help getting it running at pretty locked over 100 FPS, as most as I can anyway. And I'll catch you guys, let's see, maybe in the morning, maybe after lunch. I've got a really long night shift at my kitty sitting job tomorrow, so if I feel like doing any gaming after that, that's probably when I'll finish Nioh 2 PC. Would you recommend this to somebody who hasn't played the first? Yes. The story in Nioh is objectively bad. There's a number of reasons for that. The first one is that Team Ninja has never been good at telling stories. That's no secret. And then you have the problem that it's actively, pretty much buried in, having to know stuff about the Japanese era and stuff. And I'm not talking about weeb knowledge, like actual history. The game does not explain things very much. And then also, in the second game, the protagonist is mute. So the cutscenes are very hard to take seriously because all this crazy shit is happening and your guy just looks like he's high. He's not talking. His only, expression is just to, open his mouth or run. Those are, the only two things he can do. But the first game, you actually played as a static character. You played as William Adams, who was an actual person in history that became a samurai, and he became very prominent in Japan. He was an Englishman. So they actually used an actual person from history, but because he was still relatively a blank slate, they could take liberties and stuff. And it definitely added an interesting dynamic to it, playing as a white dude in Japan. And I don't feel that they did it because they wanted to make it more accessible to Westerners. I think it was to have a different perspective to something that's been done to death, which is all the Sengoku era games. I mean, there's just thousands of games about that era, not just more mainstream stuff like Samurai Warriors and Sengoku Basara. They wanted to add a more interesting angle to it that hasn't been done 1,000 times. There aren't any games about William Adams and what he did. Obviously, William Adams didn't go around and beat up a bunch of demons with tadvas and stuff, but he was an actual person, and they were actually able to make some interesting stuff with it. But he was very much a blank slate as well. He barely talked. So he wasn't a self-insert, but he wasn't really a static character either. He was just kind of there. But the Nioh 2 character is just, he or she is completely mute. So it's really hard to take the story seriously. The character just feels like they're just kind of there, which was the problem in the first game as well. But the second game is objectively better in mechanics. There's so many ways you can play the game, which I think is where it really shines. And the two shitty bosses, especially now that the game is done and you don't have to go through all the missions anymore, you can just skip those two levels. You really only have to do them once per version. So it's a real pain in the ass the first time, but you stop having to deal with it after a while. I definitely recommend the second game. One of the things that's nice about it too is it's very co-op friendly. You can play the whole game with somebody you know from start to finish, which is, as we all know, very hard to find these days. Games are either pretty much single player or they're team-based service games where you get stuck with the dumbest people on the planet and it's not fun. There's very few games where you can play with somebody you actually know and just both progress through the game at the same time and have a lot of fun. That's one of its greatest strengths. I'd say it's the combat, the loot, the abundance of playstyles, and then the fact that it's very co-op friendly. And for most people, that definitely overrides all the stupid shit in the game, but when you fight bosses like that one I was just fighting that I rage quit on, then you can see the problems the game has. I definitely recommend it, though. Anyway, I'm gonna hop off for tonight. Got some stuff to do on the Switch as well. Cyber Shadow came out, so I think I'm gonna try to finish Nioh 2 on tomorrow's stream, and then I'll probably go into Cyber Shadow. Thanks for watching.